Hello to the dear listeners tuning into Fairy on the Mountain channel. Dear friends, in everyday life, there are people who are very impatient and easily lose their temper over small matters or a comment that doesn't suit them. However, there are others who always maintain a calm demeanor to deal with every problem, unafraid of honor or disgrace. This is because they have cultivated a mind as calm as water. A normal person, when facing setbacks, would feel disappointed. When hurt, they feel pain. When slandered, they feel wronged. When tempted by desires, they feel hesitant. When betrayed, they feel resentment. And when facing life and death trials, they feel intense fear. These are all signs of a lack of mental stability and insufficient cultivation. In a world full of constant conflicts, many people's minds are unsettled, their spirits disturbed, because they focus too much on themselves. Some middle-aged people are able to let go of gains and losses and can face many things calmly. After experiencing life's ups and downs, they begin to realize that placing too much importance on fame and wealth only tires the spirit and unsettles the mind. However, this way of thinking is still an avoidance and not true tranquility. If one can truly maintain a calm mind, it is a form of character, happiness, and tolerance, and it reflects a noble spiritual realm. A person who wishes to be as calm as water needs to let go of the distractions of fame and fortune, and the disturbances of sensual pleasures. It is about knowing how to release what needs to be let go of. There is a famous saying, "Life is about carrying burdens while moving forward." Upon reaching a certain age, a person must learn to let go of what should be let go of, and keep what should be cherished. A person who truly understands the meaning of life will not be disturbed by external matters or the affairs of everyday life. Laozi once said, "The highest virtue is like water. The wise are like water, and the benevolent are like mountains. The wise act with virtue, benefiting all things without competing. The benevolent are quiet, majestic, and free from desires, like a high mountain. The wise live with peace of mind, and the benevolent live long and happy lives. Their success brings joy, like the powerful tide of the sea. But the tide rises and falls, just as life's victories and defeats interweave. If one's emotions follow the rise and fall of the tide, they will be exhausted and restless. The true mental state is like the calmness of water, and this is the noble spiritual realm. A person who reaches the realm of being calm like water will not panic when facing challenges, will not fear danger, will smile in the face of slander, will approach betrayal with compassion, and will handle setbacks with ease. They will remain calm and composed, not joyed by gain or saddened by loss, not angry when humiliated, and not fearful when facing peril. They will face the ups and downs of life with ease, dealing with things with justice and fairness. Achieving this is a state of mind that transcends the ordinary, where they become pure and holy, spreading peace to the world. All of the troubles in life come from desires, attachments, and an unsettled mind. The temptations of material wealth, fame, love, and money make it difficult for people to break free. In ancient times, many scholars attained the realm of being calm like water. Li Bai, for example, drank wine while admiring the moon, enjoyed planting chrysanthemums in his garden. In life, many people hope for inner peace, but very few understand that purity and tranquility are deeply connected. When a person's mind is truly calm, their wisdom will shine. In contrast, when a person's mind is restless, they can never gain wisdom and will remain confused. In today's fiercely competitive world, people rely too much on material possessions, and the pressure weighs heavily on both the body and mind, making them easily irritated, anxious, and impatient. Ultimately, this happens because they lack calmness and composure. The ancients taught that in the face of important matters, one should maintain calmness. Throughout history, great sages and wise men, when faced with crucial events, were able to stay calm, unafraid of danger. The great strategist Sun Tzu is a perfect example. When the two sides faced each other in battle, General Jia commanded his forces while calmly playing Go without any anxiety or fear. When his scouts reported a victory, he glanced at the news and continued playing. Only with a calm mind can one maintain clarity of thought, perceive the vastness of the universe, and understand the rules of nature. With calmness, one can remain indifferent to fame and wealth, unmoved by favor or insult, and face difficulties with poise. Those who can remain calm in the face of any situation are able to make important and strategic decisions. This calmness is not innate but requires continuous accumulation and practice. Some people, when confronted with major challenges, panic because they lack confidence and the ability to control the situation. As the saying goes, those who have food in hand need not worry. Just like the wise who cultivate their minds through reading, by absorbing the knowledge and wisdom of those who came before, they elevate their capacity and overcome fear and anxiety. A broad and wise mind, along with personal cultivation, brings a wider vision and a calmer, more peaceful thought process. A person with a balanced mind and a stable temperament will be able to remain joyful in times of gain, undisturbed in times of loss, unangered by undeserved insults, and unafraid in urgent situations. Such a person has a generous heart, not fixating on winning or losing. Therefore, a calm mind is the manifestation of a kind of wisdom. There is a saying, tranquility is a blessing. In the novel Romance of the Three Kingdoms, after being defeated at Xianling, Zhuge Liang received news that Sima Yi was leading 150,000 troops to attack Western Cheng. At that time, Zhuge Liang only had 500 soldiers guarding the city, but he did not panic. He calmly ordered 2 attendants to play the zither by the railing in the city, while he remained composed. When Sima Yi saw this scene, he was puzzled and paused. Zhuge Liang played the zither for a while, then ordered his troops to retreat quickly. The calm, unflustered sound of the zither intimidated Sima Yi, causing him to withdraw. This is a perfect example of a person maintaining composure and grace even when faced with a major crisis. Such a demeanor is impossible for an ordinary person to achieve. A calm mind brings harmony in all things, and it overcomes mental turmoil. There is a saying, life is brief, so why dwell on trivial matters? Most people live with constant calculations of gain and loss, but in reality, there are those who think they are clever but act foolishly, and those who seem foolish but are actually wise. That's why our ancestors said, man proposes, but heaven disposes. Many people think they are wise, so they constantly calculate, but from another perspective, this is a life spent in comparison. It is clear that those who live in comparison cannot find happiness. This is an eternal, unchanging law. Sometimes people think they are wise but end up being foolish, for those who calculate too much often lose more than they gain. What they gain is often just superficial, while what they lose is their sense of self. When we focus too much on the issue of gain and loss, we lose the tranquility of the soul, and happiness is born from inner peace. Wisdom arises from a peaceful mind. A person who is always entangled in gain and loss is essentially trapped in worry and sorrow. Thus, joy cannot arise. As the saying goes, to be human, just live with kindness, and heaven will arrange the rest. Many people go through life working tirelessly, day and night, just in search of happiness and peace. However, what is happiness and where is peace? If we contemplate calmly, we will realize that the more we struggle to search for happiness, the further we move away from it. Happiness and peace are always around us. They stem from self-awareness in our hearts. When we learn to be content and appreciate what we have, we allow our minds to settle, and we suddenly realize that happiness is always present. It is in the simple moments. Waking up to see your child smile, seeing your mother happy, watching the sunrise on the horizon, living each day meaningfully without competition, without worrying about gain or loss. Some people have said, everything arises from the mind, and everything changes according to the mind. When we let go of our desires, anger, and hatred, and find peace in our hearts, we will see the world as beautiful and full of kindness. Life's path is full of twists and turns, and events come and go as they are meant to. We do not need to force or fight for anything. As another saying goes, flowers fall with intent, water flows without intention. In truth, flowers bloom and wither, water flows down from the source. When the time comes for flowers to fall, no matter how much the tree wants to hold on, the flowers must go. Water always flows down from the source, no matter how much the stones try to stop it. Life is the same. Everything that comes and goes is determined by destiny. To force things is to bring suffering, and to calculate is to harm oneself. In conclusion, the wisest people are those who do not calculate or compete. They live calmly and comfortably, accepting life as it is, and they see that gain and loss are not important. The essence of life is found in peace and tranquility. Dear friends, I invite you to continue watching part 2, which will explore the law of cause and effect. Every action creates a cause and effect, and where there is a cause, there must be an effect. This is a universal law. All things in the universe are relative, impermanent, and subject to conditions. After many lifetimes of suffering, people realize that no matter how much they gain, they are never satisfied. When they have much, they worry about losing it. When they have little, they crave more. This constant longing causes anxiety and sorrow. Eventually, they become weary and bitter, realizing that they can never be satisfied with material wealth. We must live with purpose and meaning. The lesson we need to learn is to understand the law of cause and effect and take responsibility for our actions. Once a person's heart changes and they start doing good deeds, cultivating virtues, and creating blessings, they can reduce the negative consequences of their past actions. If we can transform thoughts of hatred, greed, and selfishness into higher, benevolent thoughts, we can change the world for the better. When each individual can change their karma by doing good, entire organizations or nations can also transform their fate and move towards a brighter future. It's not enough to just do evil deeds and harm others for personal gain. Afterward, trying to escape the consequences by performing superficial acts of charity will not change anything. Without a genuine change in heart and intention, no one can alter the karmic consequences. The law of karma is deeply complex. Luck and misfortune, good and bad, are all interconnected. The more one desires, the more one suffers. In today's world, people are often focused on external knowledge, reason, analysis, and distinctions. However, the human mind is not just about intellectual knowledge. It also includes the spiritual mind. The spiritual mind is the clear, pure, and beautiful source of love and creativity, transcending the limits of time and space. We can only recognize and cultivate our spiritual mind when we turn our attention inward. Everyone on earth is connected through their karma. The karma of anyone, no matter how severe, can be alleviated through awareness, understanding, and the cultivation of love. When we begin to do good, we create new energy, change old karmic forces, and improve our fate. Our part in life will then spread good things to many others and may gradually transform the collective karma. Every encounter in our lives is arranged by karmic laws. Every meeting with someone contains lessons that we need to learn, for people meet each other to teach one another. Sometimes the lesson is about happiness, sometimes about suffering. Sometimes we meet to repay a debt, sometimes to reconnect old ties. Through these lessons, people will learn what they need to know, what they should do to change, transform, and evolve to a higher level of understanding. In business, almost everyone has heard the phrase, thrive when prosperous, but not when in decline, which reflects the materialistic spirit that places high importance on profits. However, with my understanding of karmic law, I have come to realize a different saying: heaven favors kindness, not greed and wickedness. Business should be conducted with honesty and integrity. While this may not bring immediate profits, it is the path to long-term success. This path can only be guided by honesty and goodness, leaving no room for greed, selfishness, or deceit. We are all part of a great life force, or true self, belonging to an original energy that has been carefully arranged by the laws of the universe. Through countless lifetimes, humans have often gone astray, thinking of themselves as separate beings, independent of the universal laws. When not swayed by the world around us, we can reach a state of stillness, and in that peaceful state, boundless love will arise. True love only exists in a mind free from desires. As the ancients said, a kind word can warm 3 winters, while a harsh word can freeze 6 months. An unintentional remark can change a person's life. No one likes to hear words filled with negative energy, as they harm others and bring misfortune to oneself. There is a saying in English, put yourself in someone else's shoes. This means to think from another person's perspective so as not to hurt them. Buddhist teachings emphasize the importance of speech. Saying inappropriate words creates mouth karma, which brings suffering upon oneself. In ancient wisdom, it is said, "When meeting others, refrain from speaking of worldly matters. Live a peaceful life and control your speech. Speak only when necessary, and stay silent when it is not." In this way, one can avoid disaster and receive blessings. In the internet age, rumors spread quickly, and keyboard warriors thrive on gossip. They enjoy spreading fabricated stories, which only cause harm. We must be mindful of the words we speak. Every time we speak ill of others, we are creating negative karma for ourselves. The tongue, though without bones, can kill without blood. As the saying goes, the Buddha teaches that each time we speak with ill intentions, we are accumulating bad karma. People who gossip or criticize others often do not realize that they are building negative karma, which will eventually bring consequences. The teachings encourage us to think about ourselves first, not to engage in idle talk about others. Words can cut like a knife, so we must choose our words wisely and build our personal virtues with each conversation. This way, we accumulate blessings for ourselves. There are 4 things that lead to good fortune in life. First, do not complain about life. Life is not easy. Everyone must carry burdens and continue moving forward. While some may feel that effort is futile, complaining only brings negative energy, pushing people away and hindering their own progress. When we complain, we attract negative energy, and this lowers our self-esteem and vitality. Life will become harder as a result. Everyone faces challenges and setbacks, which are part of life. The right attitude is to stop complaining. Second, do not boast about yourself. The famous poet Sudongpa, when young, had read many books, but upon being asked about a book he had not seen before, he realized he was not all-knowing. He changed his mindset and adopted a humble approach. From that moment on, he became diligent in learning and eventually became a renowned poet. True wisdom does not need to boast. It is reflected in humility and continuous self-improvement. Those who are truly knowledgeable do not need to show off. If we remain humble, we will learn more and become better. Third, avoid speaking about others unnecessarily. Speak only when needed and silence when not. This shows that one has self-discipline and wisdom. A person with wisdom treats others kindly, values themselves, and maintains kindness. Every word and action should be considered with the other person in mind. This is how the world becomes a better place. Finally, the blessings we receive in life are predetermined. If we waste them, they will disappear quickly. Blessings come from being kind-hearted, and when we are calm, life becomes smoother. Harmonious relationships bring prosperity and happiness. In a family, when there is understanding and compassion, even difficulties will pass. If conflicts persist, good fortune will fade. Do not harbor hatred or contempt. Recognize the blessings you have, and work hard to accumulate more. Blessings are like crops in a field. Only through effort can you harvest. In life, we must put in effort to plow and nurture, for wealth or poverty is determined by karma. Families that are diligent will be blessed. Filial piety and gratitude toward parents are the greatest blessings. The more one lives with filial piety, the more blessings they receive. Among the hundreds of good deeds, the one that stands at the forefront is filial piety. Therefore, in a family, disobedience to one's parents is the greatest ignorance and poverty. Giving brings joy, while the desire to take advantage of others will lead to misfortune. If you want to sow blessings, you must practice generosity. Poverty arises from greed, while wealth comes from giving. Merit may not be seen immediately, but even with bad intentions, heaven already knows. Therefore, don't hesitate to endure hardship. Heaven will not treat you unjustly. In this complex world, only we know when to hold on and when to let go. The suffering of humans often revolves around 12 words. Unable to let go, unclear thinking, uncomprehending views, and an inability to forget. Many relationships can be resolved by simply letting go, but most of us struggle to do so and end up hurting ourselves. Let's listen to some lessons from a monk about letting go. Story 1. A merchant came to seek advice from a monk. He asked, "Master, sometimes I want to let go of everything because I am so tired, but I cannot. Do you have a way to help me?" The monk handed him a cup of water and asked him to hold it. The monk kept pouring hot water into the cup, causing the water to overflow and burn his hand. The merchant was burned and had to release the cup, shattering it. The monk calmly said, "If you want to let go of anything, do it before the disaster strikes. Don't wait until it's too late." The lesson here is that we should let go before we experience the consequences. Why wait until things go wrong to let go? The key is to release things early, before we know whether they will bring good or bad outcomes. Story 2. A young man approached the monk and said, "Master, I want to give up everything because I am so exhausted." The monk handed him a cup and told him to hold it. The young man poured hot tea into the cup, but it was too hot for him to handle. He kept switching hands until the tea cooled and he could drink it, finding it quite delicious. The monk gently said, "If you let go when it hurts, you might miss the good things that come later." The issue is that we often let go in pain, when we could have made things better by enduring. In life, we only know when to hold on or let go. Some things require patience to yield good results, but some situations, the more we struggle, the more pain we endure. Therefore, letting go is often a necessary choice. However, humans are stubborn. It's not easy to just let go when needed. Story 3. A girl approached a monk and said, "Master, I want to let go of a few things, but I can't. I'm too tired." The monk handed her a cup of water and kept pouring boiling water into it. The water spilled over, burning her hand. She released the cup and broke it. The monk calmly said, "Once you experience pain, you will naturally let go. But the question is, why wait until the pain is deep before you let go?" Letting go is about returning to our true selves. There are things we need to let go of to live a peaceful and healthy life. Here are some things we must learn to let go of. Letting go of pride. Sometimes we need to lower our heads to see the path clearly. Many people have things in their lives that are not pure or satisfactory, but they can't let go of their pride. This leads them to destruction because of their attachment to pride. Letting go of stress and fatigue. Whether you feel tired or not depends on your mindset. If your mind is not cleared, it will accumulate dust and confusion. Cleanse your mind, and it will shine brightly, bringing happiness and clarity. Letting go of doubt. Doubt hinders progress. If you don't trust others, you won't be able to achieve anything. Don't doubt others without reason, as it can damage relationships and hinder success. Letting go of hesitation. Immediate action leads to success. Once you recognize the situation, do not hesitate or be indecisive. Step forward with determination. Letting go of the past. Letting go of the past will allow you to welcome new joy and change your mindset. Learning to accept reality and face challenges calmly helps us view life with optimism. Letting go of laziness. The key to success is diligence. Even in the simplest tasks, do them with dedication. Remind yourself that by moving forward, you will find joy, health, and kindness. Letting go of negativity. If you want to succeed, you must work on your positive qualities. Let positivity overcome negativity, generosity overcome selfishness, sincerity overcome falsehood, strength overcome weakness, and greatness overcome pettiness. Only by believing in yourself can you succeed. Letting go of inferiority. If you remove inferiority from your dictionary, everyone can become great. Trust in yourself, know your worth, and you will find your life's purpose. Letting go of hatred. Instead of holding on to resentment, continue to work hard. Every failure is a stepping stone to success. Hatred and anger can only block your progress, while persistence will bring hope. Letting go of narrow-mindedness. Forgiveness is a virtue. When we forgive others, we are also giving ourselves a broader path. It's important to be forgiving towards others and towards yourself. The 3 greatest failures in life. Failure due to extravagance. The ancients said that frugality and virtue go hand in hand, while wastefulness and vice bring great harm. Reflecting on history, successful people were frugal. Frugality is the foundation of national prosperity and personal development. It is a traditional virtue of our people. Excessive luxury will ultimately lead to failure. In the Zishu by Zhuge Liang, it is written, "Tranquility nourishes the body, frugality nourishes virtue." In Hong Kong, there is a wealthy businessman named Li Ka-shing, who is also a great example of frugality in family education. He required his 2 children to take public transportation when going out and told them that on public transport, they could encounter people from all walks of life and witness how ordinary people live in society. This, he said, was a valuable life experience. Therefore, these 2 children, from a young age, diligently studied and worked, using the money they earned to help less fortunate students. They were not influenced by the extravagant habits often found among rich children. Li Ka-shing, even stricter with himself, also took public transport like his children, wore the same suit for 10 years, and would even sit down to eat meals with his employees. His motto was, "Where there is a will, there is a way." Toyota, the company he led, began its management by paying attention to the smallest details. If a work glove was torn, only one glove was replaced. Paper used on one side was saved to use the other side. Despite being a multinational company, Toyota instilled a strong sense of frugality. This is something that is widely admired. 2. Failure due to laziness. As Confucius taught, the sage considers labor to be a blessing, while he regards idleness as a misfortune. Failure is not scary. Laziness is. Once a person becomes lazy, everything will fail. If one is lazy while studying, their results will naturally not be good. If one is lazy in their career, their prospects will not be good either. Even if you inherit a large fortune, if you are lazy, it will quickly disappear. A story goes, 2 horses were pulling 2 large carts. The cart in front was running fast, while the cart behind was moving slowly, taking breaks. The goods from the slow cart were transferred to the fast one. When the items in the slow cart were cleared out, the lazy horse began walking faster. It said to the horse ahead, "You've worked so hard and sweat so much. The harder you work, the more they will make you work." When they reached the destination, the owner said, "If I only needed 1 horse to pull the cart, why would I raise 2? I should raise just 1 well and slaughter the other for its hide." The lazy horse lost its life. Someone once asked a monk why people strike the wooden fish when chanting the Buddha's name. The monk replied, "It's not about striking a fish, it's about striking people. Why not strike a chicken or a goat but a fish?" The monk smiled and said, "Fish are hardworking and fast. They swim around with their eyes wide open, always active. If fish, who are so diligent, are struck, then imagine how much worse it is for a lazy person." Many ordinary people lead uneventful lives due to laziness. Most successful people are diligent. To be diligent, one must constantly urge themselves to overcome the habit of laziness. Hard work can create greatness, and it helps us become a better version of ourselves. An old saying goes, "Flowing water does not stagnate, and a constantly moving door frame does not rot." Laziness is like a dangerous disease. It slowly changes a person's destiny and consumes their life. Many people are aware of the dangers of laziness but still allow themselves to be blinded by it. With the rapidly changing programs on TV today, people often gossip. After meals or over tea, they engage in trivial conversations and lament about the impermanence of life, or secretly envy the success of others. They are poisoned by laziness. 3. Failure due to arrogance. Wang Yongming once said, "All sins and evils stem from arrogance." In life, people cannot afford to be weak, but they must avoid arrogance. Xiang Yu, the famous general from the Chuhan contention, prided himself on his royal heritage, believing his strength could conquer mountains and rivers. He had hundreds of thousands of soldiers, yet he did not regard Liu Bang, who came from humble beginnings, as a threat. Liu Bang, however, treated his advisors with respect. Zhang Liang, Han Xian, and Xiao He, all from lowly backgrounds. With their help, Liu Bang turned the tide and eventually defeated Xiang Yu. In another historical example, the general Bong Gwin, who was proud of his military talent, mistreated his fellow officer Tun Tan out of jealousy. Despite his military skills, Bongwina's pride led to his downfall. He boasted too much about his small accomplishments, which caused him to be rejected by others. If it wasn't for his pride, he would have never allowed Tun Tan to exploit this weakness. In the end, Bongwina's downfall was rooted in his arrogance. A person who cannot hide their talents is arrogant. Someone who takes pride in their abilities without realizing it is foolish. The key is to remain humble no matter how much talent you have. A humble person, even without much ability, will possess virtue. When you keep your attitude humble, even though luck may not come immediately, misfortune is certainly far away. By humbly accepting the opinions of others and consulting them, you can gain a wider perspective and improve yourself. An arrogant person will ultimately destroy themselves. Next, let's explore the 3 traps in life. If we avoid them, we can lead an extraordinary life. In the ancient text, Tang Kuang Hien Van, there are words of wisdom filled with philosophy and the teachings of Confucianism, Buddhism, and Taoism on how to deal with people and handle situations. Life is filled with challenges and obstacles, but ancient wisdom tells us, to see enough is to be content, and to stop at the right time is to avoid shame. The 3 traps that people often fall into in life are speech, anger, and desire. If one can master these 3 points, they will avoid leading a mediocre life. One should not speak carelessly, as it diminishes the credibility of Lord Tran. In a moment of anger, he killed that friend, and thus all his old friends left him. From that moment on, no one was close to Lord Tran anymore. Laozi once said, "Don't speak too much. Speaking too much leads to mistakes." The Book of Changes also states that a wise person speaks little, while an irritable person speaks a lot. Words come out easily, but if one does not think carefully or consider the feelings of others when speaking, the result may be self-inflicted harm. Speaking recklessly without restraint shows disregard for others, which is the greatest mistake of life. 2. Avoid anger and learn patience. In the Tang Kuang Hien Van, Great Wisdom Collection, it is written, "Enduring anger for a moment can avoid troubles for 100 days." The character Ren, patience, in Chinese is made up of the knife radical above and the heart radical below. Even if the pain of a knife cutting through the heart is severe, those who engage in great undertakings cannot afford to be angry. In his final northern expedition, Zhuge Liang fought a prolonged standoff with Sima Yi for hundreds of days. At one point, Zhuge Liang repeatedly challenged Sima Yi, but he refused to come out and fight. Zhuge Liang, seeing no way out, sent Sima Yi a set of women's clothes. However, Sima Yi remained patient and ignored the provocation. Had an ordinary person been in his position, they would not have been able to resist and would have reacted angrily. Days later, Zhuge Liang fell ill and died at the Five Dragon Hill. The Wei army won without a battle. After this, Sima Yi gained unprecedented fame and slowly took control of the Wei kingdom, laying the foundation for the Jin dynasty. If Sima Yi had not been able to endure the provocation, his outcome would have been far less successful. As the philosopher Xuanzi said, "Anger is but a fleeting joy, and joy is but a passing pleasure," meaning that both anger and happiness should be moderated. No matter the situation, one should not let their emotions dominate their actions. Patience is a form of cultivation and an essential way to deal with the world. A person who is quick to anger lacks patience and has a narrow heart. This is the second major mistake of life. 3. Greed without limit, controlled by desires. The ancient teachings say, "He who knows contentment is always content, and he who knows when to stop is never disgraced." A person who knows contentment will be happy because they are not corrupted by desires, and they will not be swayed by them. When doing something, one should not act solely out of desire. There must be room to leave something behind to avoid mistakes and future regret. Where do desires come from? What is the root of shame? It is simply knowing enough. Laozi once said, "He who knows enough will not be disgraced. He who knows when to stop will not face danger." Only then can one achieve longevity. These words tell us that a person should know when enough is enough in life. Those who do not know when to stop will become greedy and recklessly rush forward, unaware that disaster is looming. In the famous work Dream of the Red Chamber, there is a saying, "Behind is a way out, but one does not let go. Before one wishes to turn back, there is no way." This profound saying serves as a reminder from the ancients. It warns us to be vigilant when controlled by desires. Even though one knows that the path ahead is a deep abyss, they continue recklessly, unwilling to stop, plunging into the darkness. Once desires take control, regret comes too late. The Tao Te Ching also says, "Loving too much causes loss, and accumulating too much leads to loss." If one does not control desires in time, the losses will not just be simple. Greed without limit and being controlled by desires is the third great trap in life. Dear friends, you have just watched the content on A Calm Mind and Clear Vision on the Fairy on the Mountain channel, with wisdom passed down by great philosophers and sages throughout history. I wish you good health, peace, happiness, success, and prosperity. Thank you for listening and spending time watching our video. We hope these insights bring positive value to your life. Please feel free to like and subscribe to the Fairy on the Mountain channel so you don't miss any of our new videos. We always look forward to accompanying you on your journey to find true peace and happiness. Goodbye, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.